I believe with all my heart that it's my mission to share my journey with you. Through me, I hope you see God's undenying, unifying grace. Let me take you down the road I've traveled, and maybe, just maybe, it'll bring you encouragement to share your story. This is Vlog 2. Let's go. My mom committed suicide in 2018. It's hard to put everything that happened into 3 minutes or 4 minutes, so I'm going to do the best I can. It started at the end of January 2018, and my mom was having panic attacks. And she was diagnosed in 2014 with COPD, which makes it hard for somebody to breathe. And my dad decided to get out of work for a while and take care of my mom. And while he was doing that, he came down with the flu. They put my mom on Tamiflu to keep her from getting the flu. And my mom was already on these anti-anxiety medications, and that didn't really mix well. So during this time, my mom was having her suicidal thoughts. And I remember the day that my dad told me I needed to come home. This is about a week after he was recovering from the flu, and I just stayed away because I didn't want to get sick. I came home and she's sleeping in the chair, and she has dad had to buy her an oxygen machine. He took me into the other room and we sat there and we were talking, and I didn't really know what was going on. I just thought that she was just having her anxiety attacks and stuff like that. And he told me that one day he caught her with pills in her hand and she was about to take them. The next day he caught her with a razor blade about to cut herself. And as he's telling me this, my heart's sinking because I'm like, that's not my mom. My mom wouldn't do that. My mom's not in her right mind. She'd be the last person on earth that I would think would do something like that. When she woke up that evening, it was on a Friday, and I went in there and I wrapped my arms around her and I gave her a hug. And so we're sitting there and she's rocking back and forth in pain, and she's complaining that she can't breathe, and she's saying, I just want to go home. I just want to go home. And I'm like, what are you talking about, Mom? I'm like, you're home. What are you talking about? She was like, I just can't take it anymore. It feels like I'm breathing in fire, and you'll be fine. You got the best dad in the world to take care of you, and you will be fine. And I'm like, Mom, everything's going to be okay. Don't talk like that. It'll be okay. After that night, she was still having panic attacks. And I was like, Mom, it would make me feel better if you went to the hospital. I'm glad that she went to the hospital because her potassium level was very low, and she was actually about to go into cardiac arrest. So you got all the medicine that they put her on that wasn't mixing well. They released her at 12 o'clock that Saturday, and I took off the whole weekend because I wasn't sure what was going on, if my mom, needed me to be there. So I was at my grandmother's house, and she called me and she was like, why didn't you work this weekend? And I'm thinking, okay, well, she's doing better, I got my mom back. She had a good day Saturday, and then Sunday, she had a great day. Dad was surprised at how well she was doing that Sunday. And my dad said, well, tomorrow I'm going to go back to work if that's okay with you. And she said, yeah, that's fine. I think I'm going to, clean the house and get ready to go back to work later on in the week. So Monday, February the 12th, 2018, a day that I will always remember, a day that changed my life forever. I was at school at the time. My dad went back to work. And I had this strangest feeling. I didn't know what it was. So after school, I went to my grandmother's house because I had an hour to eat before I went to work, which I worked in where my grandmother lives, her town. And that's about 15 minutes from my house here, where my mom was. So 6 o'clock rolls around, and it's about time for us to close. So I'm going to the bathroom. And the strangest thing is I didn't even use the bathroom. I was just standing there. And we had little radios where we communicate with each other. And I just stood there for a second, and the cashier says, hey, Clay, somebody's here to see you. And so I step out of the bathroom, and it's my pastor. And my pastor comes walking up to me, and he has tears in his eyes. And he's like, Clay, you need to go home. You need to go home now. You need to go home. And he's like, I'll follow you. And so I get in my car, and I'm driving. Like I said, it's 15 minutes from my house, and I'm driving like crazy. I don't even know. I'm passing cars. I know what's going on. I know what happened. And it's breaking my heart while I'm driving. And I know what's going on. So I get to my house, and my dad's sitting there with the Lawrence County Sheriff. And I get out of the car, and my dad gets off the tailgate, and he comes running up to me, and he gives me a hug. And he can't catch his breath. He's crying. He can't catch his breath. And I'm just standing there. I'm holding it. I'm like, where's Mom? Where's Mom? He saw the deck, and she was laying there, and she was covered in blood. They took her by helicopter to Greenville Memorial Hospital. There she stayed 2 weeks, surgery after surgery. The doctors came and they told me and my dad that there was really nothing they could do. And so we had to make the decision to, basically pull the plug. And so the next day, all the family gathered around the bed and they're giving her medication to, slow, basically give her a painless death. So I reached over and I said, Mom, thank you for being such a great mother to me. Teaching me so much about my life. Always encouraging me to follow my dreams, and to, follow God, worship God, praise God, and always just, encouraging me just to be myself. There's so many people that struggle with this daily, and it's Suicide Prevention Month this September. So reach out to a friend. They may not be an open book, but talk to them. Tell them how much you love them. Hang out with them, despite your differences. See, I don't have a perfect life. I didn't have a perfect life. But I had a life that was worth living. And I have a life that's worth living. So finish your mission. And so thank you for watching my story. Let's make sure that we do everything we can to prevent suicide. Thank you.